So, what's better to do than to do that which one likes not, right? I mean, yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't, but I'm going to watch the original movie directed by one of the three directors that directed an hour and a half film. Anyway, movie. Very specifically, movie, not film. Films are subtle. Movies are whatever. That's one of those things. So I'm going to watch a whatever. Yeah, a Yoshihiro Nishimura film. Oh no, not film. So, you know, maybe they can't differentiate. Anyway, yeah, a special effects makeup artist. I don't know. Do you call this art? I don't know why I'm watching this. Do you know why I'm watching this? Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to watch it either way. So it's called right. Like it couldn't be more blatant than this. It's literally in the title and everything. Like you couldn't even make this up. I don't know why I'm watching this. I think I don't know. I'm just whatever. Yeah. I mean, it exists, right? I just watch whatever exists. I'm just, there's so much exists already. I should really just try to watch, but yeah, I just watch whatever. And yeah, I mean, the Mutant Squad wasn't. At least it had a slither of comedy, as I mentioned. So hopefully this does as well. This is called Tokyo Gore Police, right? It's literally in the title. I don't know why I'm watching it, but anyway, I'm watching this. I know it's here. Yeah. Hopefully it does though, because man, a splatter film on its own, a splatter movie, just splatter is a stupid genre. I don't even know why it exists. What's the point of it? On the other hand, if it does have a bit of comedy, okay, it sort of coats it. If it didn't, it'd be just dreary and stupid and disgusting, and that's that. You know, because on the other hand, movies like Psycho, they're not exactly splatter. The I guess slasher is more like it, but there is still not much at all of that happening. But it doesn't happen out in a vacuum, obviously. It happens with a storyline. The storyline is actually interesting. Over the many movies, at least, I found it interesting. I'm not entirely sure why people think the first movie is the best thing ever. It's just anyway, yeah. I'll hopefully this has some comedy because Splatter on its own. I mean, these don't tend to have the greatest of storylines either. So hopefully the comedy sort of eases that. And wow, just when you thought, you know, yesterday I watched something he later directed, only later, like a few movies later. You think people become maybe more extreme in what they do. No. In the first 2 minutes, this already succeeded to be even more extreme because in Mutant Girl Squad there was no cannibalism, so that's one-upping it, despite this being a couple of years earlier. As I said, I really don't know why I'm watching this. It disgusts me to my core, but the comedy is a sort of counterweight, and I mean, it depends on how much of a counterweight it is, but so far, there has only been someone who just was just, in the dream sequence so far, it hasn't counterweighted all the shit, right? No. someone saying, don't hold back in some sort of high pitched voice isn't comedic enough to counter cannibalism at all. We'll see. So what else it has? Obviously, it has nothing except gore. Uh, in my opinion, that's the worst of the worst, really. Even at least, at least Mutant Girls could have had comedy up to the end. It had consistency as well. It sort of sugarcoats it in a way. It's still a pile of shit, but I mean, at least it has the shit has some sugar in it. You still don't really want to eat it, but you know it at least has some sugar, at least. And yeah, that's the first scene there. First 8 minutes, absolutely revolting. No, I do not know. I am watching this, and it practically had no comedy. Still hoping the rest has some comedy, because otherwise this is just a disgusting pile of shit. Honestly, I don't know why they do this. Like, what's the point? You don't even do them realistically. I mean, in what world are there fountains of blood? Like, really fountains? I'm pretty sure blood just drips. And I don't know why they even try to make it look stylish afterwards. I mean, what's the point? I cannot adjust after so much extreme, capricious gore. I can't adjust to some stylish looking pub. I mean, you know, um, that I had a pub, right? And it had some deaths as well, and maybe momentary, sort of realistic gore. But I could, I don't know, enjoy the pub more in the context it was in. It's also a vicious story, but what is the point of this? Like, I cannot possibly. I mean, it seems to imply that somehow this is a normal story as well. After all that, it's not. It's so capricious, and what's the point of all this? Also, the actress is from another movie that I watched called Audition. Now that approaches the in a completely opposite manner. Opposite, not so to the extent that there isn't gore at all, but that there is only gore at the end, and it only comes after the whole story is established. Now, if if there must be any kind of gore, then I think that is the way to do it. So, I don't know why she thinks that. I mean, obviously, there's a variety of reasons why, actors and actresses play a part, but the audition was much more refined at any rate. And it's ironic because, I always thought Takashi Miike was one of the goriest, sort of, but clearly there are worse than him. The fact that someone can think, let's begin as much gore as possible, and they did this in Mutant Squad Girls as well. Mutant Girls. At least there was comedy so far. This one really doesn't seem like there is much comedy at all, which is disappointing. Is the whole thing? If this is 1 hour and 48 minutes of just code, no comedy, then it's going to be just disgusting, and with no redemption at all. Practically hell. I mean, I don't know. Um, in which case, I really think of these sort of movies as the worst of the worst. And even if it has some semi-coherent interesting, possibly original story about these so-called engineers. it, it's the gore is so distracting. How am I supposed to get involved with the story if it truly, is a sort of an intricate plot and possibly original, which is difficult to do with so much already out there. But if they want, and they will obviously do insert, they will obviously have much more gore. I'm supposed to, as I said, it's really difficult to just think that suddenly she's in a bar and such. It's everything that happened in the past. And well, had some random stuff as well, not as much as usually stuff had, but what was the fun of that? I had a few single commercial things that or something that I don't know if it was relevant in the future, but seems to be just randomly thing that because you have like random sort of doesn't use random. Yeah, it's I'm near it, have an hour mark, and I mean, they're both good, but I don't know, maybe obviously he didn't just direct me to score on his own. That was the difference. But yeah, it took a couple of years later for he didn't change his idea as much. This is worse. Yes, that's the point of this. And yeah, what little comedy there is apparently in the form of a sarcastic advert about blades and how, despite capitalism being rampant with similar sort of adverts, and there are adverts for blades as well, except they're not framed in that sense. They don't encourage the users to cut themselves. Otherwise, it is fairly similar to any conventional capitalistic ad. So it's not funny in the same sense that the Mutant Squad had comedy. This is more sarcastic. In a way, it is more mature comedy. It's not it's not so comedic in the wholesome sense either. So I mean, yeah, okay, the Mutant Squad, it was more immature comedy, but this is I suppose this can serve as a social commentary as well. But they just had to ruin it with that worm eating scene. I don't get why they do it. It's like they just want to ruin any progress. I mean, that wasn't comedic, obviously, but why ruin it with pure disgust? I mean, to be fair, if the camera zooms in on that person's mouth while they're eating pretty much anything, it's so disgusting. But they're obviously trying to be as disgusting as possible there, just like they do with the gore. And then with the hand cutting scene after the molestation, that's obviously quite extreme. Uh, I don't know what to think of this. Well, we'll see. This is the first half hour now. And yeah, similar to the ad on the train, they used an ad on a TV just after a most disgusting and useless scene as well. I mean, what's the point of somehow a key opening up the hand as if it was a door? I mean, it's bizarre, but I don't know why they rely on just gore so much, even when it's related to bizarre nonsense. The ad that followed, on the other hand, I suppose was sort of like a counter to that. It wasn't as caustic as the other ad, I suppose, but it was still relevant, and I suppose certainly not disgusting like what preceded it. So yeah, I finished it, and it's it's kind of worse than Mutant Squad because it doesn't have much comedy at all. What it does have though is snippets of caustic social commentary, which obviously, climaxes in a certain way. I don't know. I honestly don't know why these have so much. I mean, literally, gore is in the title, so but why? I mean, otherwise, it would have been a interesting story, but somehow they need to do all this unnecessary stuff. I mean, you know, it's not like randomness, Randomness is fine mostly. I mean, some is can be capricious, like those eyes, they're just and some are made to look extreme. Some are made to just shock, but well, obviously the goal is made to shock as well. But I don't get why they think it's somehow a necessity. And I mean, clearly they seem to think that just by inserting it, it somehow changes it and makes it better somehow. And really doesn't. I mean, otherwise it would have been okay, I suppose, mostly. But just I mean, this sort of storyline sort of worked with Kill la Kill, and even if it had blood, even if that was bloody, it was animated, so it didn't look exactly like this. I don't know. It just I mean, if it was animated, this would have been slightly better, and there were animated bits which were sort of I mean which really I guess made it better, but they were very limited. They really weren't much at all. I just don't know why they feel the need to have all this nonsense. 'Cause otherwise, it's fun, but all this I mean, I don't mind otherwise. In fact, any other story with genetic engineering in it would be interesting, but somehow they felt like they needed to be so capricious, so much so that it's in the title. So I mean, it's the whole point. But I don't get it. Music is also pretty interesting. I mean, it's hectic and such. I just don't know why they feel the need to have so much gore. It's bizarre. It's mostly disgusting. I don't find it so. I mean, it looks most of this movie looks like a morgue. I don't know. Do they think that morgues are exciting? Do they look exciting? I mean, yeah, I guess there are many other movies about police corruption and brutality. Suppose they don't go so far. This is quite a lot. I guess it's own thing as well. So, but you see, at least Mutant Squad, which came out 2 years later, I think, had a bit of comedy. This really didn't. What this The only thing it had was it had to do with sociology, but it was mainly serious, really. It really wasn't comedic, so it didn't take off the edge of the relentless gore, and so essentially it makes it worse than Mutant Squad. I mean, at least that was interesting, Just this was just brutal for its own sake, and I don't know, just otherwise they seem to hate engineers as well. But otherwise, I don't know, just it could have been better. I don't think I'm gonna watch this for a long time, anyways.